Princess Zarathel pressed her delicate blue palm against the cold metal wall of her prison cell. The ship hummed around her with mechanical sounds that felt alien and wrong. 3 cycles had passed since the Corvin raiders captured her during the attack on her homeworld of Lyralii. 3 cycles since she watched her people fall to plasma fire and saw her beautiful crystal cities burn. The Corvins were a brutal species that looked like walking nightmares. They stood 8 feet tall with thick gray skin covered in bone spikes. Their faces had too many teeth and eyes that glowed red in the dark. They sold prisoners to the highest bidder across the galaxy, and Princess Zarathel would bring them a fortune. She was the last daughter of the Lyralii royal family. Her people were known throughout the galaxy for their natural beauty and their ability to sing songs that could heal wounds and calm angry minds. The Lyralii had long silver hair that moved like water and skin that changed colors with their emotions. Right now, Zarathel's skin showed deep purple stripes of fear and sadness. The cell door opened with a harsh grinding sound. Captain Morgak stepped inside, his massive form blocking most of the light from the hallway. His armor was covered in scratches and burn marks from 100 battles. Several human skulls hung from his belt like trophies. "Time to move, little princess," Morgak said in his rough voice. "We reach the slave markets of Kepler Station in 2 hours. You will bring me many credits." Zarathel lifted her chin and tried to look brave. "My people will find me. The Lyralii fleet will hunt you down." Morgak laughed, a sound like rocks grinding together. "Your people are dead, child. We killed them all, burned your pretty cities to ash. You are the last of your kind, and soon you will serve a new master." The captain grabbed her arm with one massive hand and pulled her from the cell. His grip was so tight, it left bruises on her blue skin. He dragged her through the dark corridors of the ship, past other cells filled with prisoners from different worlds. She saw green-skinned Zentorians with their 4 arms chained together. There were cat-like Felinians with their tails cut short in a sign of submission. In one cell, a family of rock creatures from the asteroid belt huddled together, their stone skin cracked and bleeding from torture. "Look at your future companions," Morgak said as they walked. "All of them will work in the mines or pleasure houses until they die, just like you." The ship's bridge was filled with more Corvin warriors. They all turned to stare at Zarathel when Morgak brought her in. Their red eyes gleamed with cruel interest. The princess could smell their unwashed bodies and see dried blood under their claws. "Behold the prize," Morgak announced. "The last Lyralii princess. The buyers on Kepler Station will fight wars to own her." Through the bridge windows, Zarathel could see stars rushing past as the ship traveled through hyperspace. Soon those stars changed to normal starlight as they dropped back into regular space. Ahead of them, Kepler Station hung in the void like a massive metal flower. The station was built around an old asteroid and had grown over centuries into a sprawling city in space. Ships of every size and shape docked at its hundreds of ports. This was where the galaxy's criminals came to buy and sell anything, including people. As their ship approached the docking bay, alarms suddenly began blaring throughout the bridge. Red warning lights flashed everywhere. The Corvin crew ran to their stations, shouting in their harsh language. "What is happening?" Morgak roared at his navigation officer. The smaller Corvin pointed at a screen with a shaking claw. "Captain, we have a problem. There's a ship following us. It just dropped out of hyperspace behind us." Morgak looked at the tactical display and saw a small craft approaching fast. It was sleek and silver with strange markings on its hull. The ship was much smaller than their raider vessel, but moved with incredible speed and grace. "Who dares to follow us?" Morgak demanded. "Unknown, Captain. The ship is not in our database. The design is completely alien to us." On the communication screen, a face appeared that made every Corvin on the bridge step back in surprise. It was a human face, but none of them had ever seen a human before. The creature had pale skin, brown hair, and kind eyes that seemed to glow with inner strength. "This is Captain Sarah Chun of the Earth vessel Lucky Strike," the human said in a calm voice. "Release your prisoners immediately or face the consequences." The Corvins looked at each other in confusion. They had never heard of Earth or humans. This species was completely unknown to them. Morgak laughed and stepped forward to respond. "Unknown alien, you are outgunned and outnumbered. This is a Corvin warship with 50 warriors aboard. Your tiny craft cannot threaten us." Sarah Chin smiled, but her eyes grew cold. "I'm not alone, Corvin, and I suggest you scan your cargo hold before you make any threats." The navigation officer quickly ran a scan of their own ship, and his face went pale with shock. "Captain, there is something in our cargo hold. Something that was not there before. Impossible Morgak snarled. Run a full scan." The results made every warrior on the bridge freeze in terror. According to their sensors, there was a massive life form in their cargo hold. Something bigger than anything they had ever encountered. The readings showed it was moving through the ship toward the prisoner cells. "What is that thing?" whispered the navigation officer. On the screen, Sarah Chun was still smiling. "That will be my partner. His name is Thunder, and he does not like people who hurt innocent beings." Suddenly, the ship shook as something powerful moved through its corridors. They could hear metal being torn apart and Corvin warriors screaming in terror. Whatever was loose in their ship was destroying everything in its path. Morgak still held Zarathel's arm, but now his grip was shaking. The princess could smell his fear, sharp and bitter in the recycled air of the bridge. "How did you get that creature onto our ship?" Morgak demanded. "Trade secret," Sarah said, "but I will make you an offer. Release all your prisoners to me, and I will call off my partner. Refuse, and he will tear your ship apart piece by piece." The sounds of destruction were getting closer to the bridge. More screams echoed through the corridors as Corvin warriors encountered whatever monster was loose in their ship. "You are bluffing," Morgak said, but his voice shook with uncertainty. Sarah's expression grew serious. "I never bluff when it comes to slavery. You have 10 seconds to decide." The bridge door suddenly exploded inward in a shower of sparks and twisted metal. Through the smoke and debris, a massive form appeared that made Princess Zarathel gasp in wonder and the Corvin warriors cry out in terror. It was unlike anything she had ever seen before. The creature stood on 4 powerful legs and was covered in thick brown and black fur. Its head was enormous with a long snout filled with sharp white teeth. Kind brown eyes looked out from above that fearsome mouth, and its tail wagged back and forth despite the violence around them. But this was no ordinary creature. It wore some kind of advanced armor that hummed with energy. The armor made it even larger and more powerful than its already impressive natural size. Blue energy crackled around its paws, and small weapon systems were built into the armor's shoulders. "Thunder, sit," Sarah's voice came from the communication system. The massive creature immediately sat down, but even sitting it was taller than most of the Corvin warriors. Its tongue hung out as it panted, and its tail continued wagging. "Good boy," Sarah said fondly. "Now, Corvin Captain, do we have a deal?" Morgak's hand trembled as he looked at the creature that had just destroyed half his ship without seeming to work very hard. Several of his warriors had already dropped their weapons and were backing away toward the emergency escape pods. What kind of creature is that?" Morgak whispered. "That is a dog," Sarah said proudly. "A genetically enhanced and cybernetically augmented Earth dog. Thunder here used to be a rescue animal before we modified him. He still loves to help people in trouble." Thunder's tail wagged harder when he heard his name. Despite his fearsome appearance and the destruction he had caused, there was something gentle in his massive brown eyes. Princess Zarathel felt something she had not experienced since her capture: hope. This strange human and her incredible animal companion had come to save them. But how had they known about the prisoners? And why did they care about the fate of alien slaves? "The deal, Captain," Sarah's voice grew harder. "You're prisoners for your lives." Morgak looked around at his terrified crew, then at the massive dog sitting calmly in the ruins of his bridge. His warriors were beaten, his ship was damaged, and this human seemed to have power beyond anything he understood. Agreed, he said finally, releasing his grip on Zarathel's arm. Take the prisoners and go. Sarah's smile returned. Excellent choice. Thunder, please escort our new friends to safety. The great dog stood up and moved toward Princess Zarathel. She tensed, unsure what to expect, but Thunder simply sniffed her gently and then pressed his massive head against her side in a gesture of comfort. His fur was incredibly soft beneath the hard armor, and she could feel warmth radiating from his body. When she tentatively reached out to touch him, Thunder's tail wagged even faster. He likes you, Sarah observed from the screen. Thunder has excellent judgment about people. As Thunder led her toward the destroyed bridge entrance, Princess Zarathel looked back at the defeated Corvin warriors. For the first time since her capture, she felt safe. These strange beings from a world called Earth had risked their lives to save prisoners they had never met. But many questions remained. Who were these humans? How had they found the Corvin ship? And what other incredible abilities did they possess? Thunder guided her through the corridors of the damaged ship, past the unconscious bodies of Corvin warriors who had tried to stop him. The princess marveled at the precision of his attack. He had disabled every enemy without killing anyone, showing a level of control that spoke of intelligence and training far beyond any ordinary animal. When they reached the cargo hold, Zarathel saw the other prisoners being freed from their cells. The Zentorians, Felinians, and rock creatures all stared in wonder at the massive dog who moved among them with gentle care. A young Zentorian child had been injured during the initial capture, and Thunder seemed to sense this immediately. He approached the child slowly and carefully, then activated something in his armor that projected a soft healing light. The child's wounds began to close, and his pain-filled cries turned to giggles as Thunder's large tongue gently licked his green face. "How is this possible?" whispered one of the Felinians. "What manner of creature shows such kindness to strangers?" Princess Zarathel was beginning to understand that they had been rescued by something far more extraordinary than she had first realized. This was not just a powerful alien and his pet. This was a partnership between two species that had achieved something remarkable together. But their rescue was far from over. They still had to escape the Corvin ship and reach safety. And Princess Zarathel sensed that their adventure was just beginning. The Lucky Strike was unlike any ship Princess Zarathel had ever seen. As Thunder guided the freed prisoners through its airlock, she marveled at the clean lines and comfortable spaces. Everything was designed with care for the beings who would live and work here. The corridors were wide enough for Thunder to move easily, with soft lighting that adjusted automatically to be comfortable for different species. The air smelled fresh and clean, with a hint of something pleasant she could not identify. "Welcome aboard," Sarah-chan said as she met them in the main cargo bay. In person, she was smaller than Zarathel had expected, but there was strength in her movements and kindness in her eyes. Her brown hair was tied back in a practical style, and she wore a simple blue uniform with various patches and badges. Thunder immediately went to Sarah's side, his tail wagging as she scratched behind his ears. The contrast between this gentle interaction and the destruction he had caused on the Corvin ship was remarkable. "Thank you," Princess Zarathel said, her voice shaking with emotion. "You saved us all, but I do not understand. Why would you risk your lives for strangers?" Sarah smiled and gestured for the prisoners to follow her deeper into the ship. "That is a long story, but the short answer is that slavery is wrong, no matter who practices it or which species suffers from it." The medical bay was their first stop. Sarah activated several advanced healing devices that began scanning the prisoners for injuries and malnutrition. The machines were clearly designed to work with many different alien physiologies. "How do you know so much about different species?" asked one of the Zentorians as a medical robot treated his wounds. "Humans are good at learning," Thunder answered, his voice coming from a translator built into his armor. Zarathel gasped in surprise. She had not expected the dog to speak. Thunder noticed her reaction and tilted his massive head. Sorry, I should have introduced myself properly. I am Thunder, and I am what humans call a good boy. Although I am told I am exceptional, even for a good boy. His tail wagged as he spoke, and despite everything she had been through, Princess Zarathel found herself smiling. There was something wonderful about this creature's combination of devastating power and innocent joy. How was it possible for you to speak? She asked. Neural enhancement in her face, Sarah explained as she checked the medical readings. We developed the technology to allow full communication between humans and enhanced animals. Thunder was one of our first success stories. Thunder sat down next to where Zarathel was being treated for the bruises on her arms. I was found as a puppy in the ruins of a city after a natural disaster. Sarah's people rescued me and gave me a new purpose. What kind of purpose? The princess asked, fascinated despite her exhaustion. We are rescue specialists, Sarah said. Earth discovered we were not alone in the galaxy about 50 years ago. We found a universe filled with wonders, but also with cruelty and injustice. Some humans wanted to conquer or exploit other species. Others wanted to hide and protect only ourselves. She paused to help one of the rock creatures onto a specially reinforced medical table. But a few of us believed we could do better. We formed the Terran Rescue Service. Our job is to help beings in trouble, regardless of their species or homeworld. Thunder's tail wagged proudly. Sarah found me and asked if I wanted to help save people. I said yes immediately. Dogs love helping people. It is what we are best at. Princess Zarathel was amazed by this revelation. In all her studies of galactic civilization, she had never heard of a species that dedicated itself to helping others without expecting payment or territory in return. But how did you know we needed rescue? She asked. Sarah's expression grew serious. We have been tracking the Corvin Raiders for months. They have been hitting peaceful worlds across this sector, taking prisoners for the slave markets. When we detected the attack on Lyralii, we came as fast as we could. The princess felt tears forming in her eyes, making them shimmer like jewels. You were too late to save my world. I know, Sarah said gently, and I am sorry for your loss. But you are not the last of your people. Zarathel's heart jumped. What do you mean? Our long-range sensors detected several Aurelii escape ships that made it away from your homeworld before the attack succeeded. There are survivors, and they need their princess to help rebuild. Hope bloomed in the princess's chest like a flower opening to sunlight. Her people lived. Her beautiful, peaceful species had not been completely destroyed. Thunder seemed to sense her emotional change because he gently pressed his massive head against her side again. His warmth was comforting, and she found herself running her fingers through his soft fur. Where are the survivors? She asked. Safe for now, Sarah said, but they are scattered across several star systems and trying to stay hidden from more Corvin attacks. They need leadership to bring them together. I'm just one person, Zarathel protested. I have no ships, no warriors, no resources to help them. Sarah and Thunder exchanged a look that seemed to communicate volumes. That is where we come in, Sarah said. The Terran Rescue Service does not just save people and leave them helpless. We help them rebuild their lives and protect themselves. She activated a holographic display that showed star charts and ship positions. We have already made contact with 3 groups of Lyralii survivors. They are hiding in asteroid fields and abandoned stations, afraid to trust anyone. The display zoomed in to show the locations more clearly. But they will trust their princess. You can bring them together and help them find a new home. Thunder wagged his tail enthusiastically. We can help you build new ships and teach your people to defend themselves. Humans are very good at building things and fighting bad people. Princess Zarathel looked at the star charts showing where her people were hiding. The hope in her chest grew stronger, but she also felt afraid. She had been trained in diplomacy and culture, not in leading refugees or building a new civilization. "I do not know if I'm strong enough," she admitted. "I have never faced anything like this." "Neither had I when I started," Sarah said. "I was just a military engineer who wanted to help people." Thunder was a scared puppy who did not know he could be a hero. Thunder's ears perked up. "I'm still scared sometimes. But Sarah taught me that being brave does not mean not being scared. It means helping people even when you are scared." The simple wisdom in the dog's words struck the princess deeply. She had been so focused on her fear and lost that she had forgotten her duty to her people. "What would you need from me?" she asked. "Just be yourself," Sarah said. "Be the leader your people need. We will provide the ships, weapons, and training. But only you can give them hope." The medical treatments were finished, and the other rescued prisoners gathered around to listen to the conversation. The Zentorian family looked at Princess Zarathel with admiration. "Your Highness," the father said, "if these humans are willing to help you rebuild, then perhaps there is hope for all of us who have lost our homes." The Felinian warriors nodded in agreement. "The Corvins destroyed our colony as well. We have been looking for a way to strike back." Even the rock creatures, who rarely spoke to other species, expressed their support. "The Earth folk show honor. We will help if you will have us." Princess Zarathel realized that she was looking at the beginning of something bigger than just rescuing Lyralii survivors. These beings from different worlds had all suffered under Corvin brutality. Together, they might be able to build something strong enough to protect others from the same fate. "Show me the star charts again," she said to Sarah. The holographic display lit up, showing the locations of Lyralii survivors scattered across dozens of light years. It looked impossible, but Sarah and Thunder seemed confident it could be done. "The first group is only 2 days away," Sarah explained. 53 Lyralii refugees hiding in the Vega asteroid belt. They have children with them and are running low on supplies. Thunder's tail wagged faster. "Children. I love children. They always laugh when they see me, even when they are sad." Despite everything, Princess Zarathel found herself smiling again. This wonderful creature's joy was infectious. "If we go to them first, will they trust us?" she asked. "They will trust you," Sarah assured her. "Our communications with them have been limited, but they know their princess survived the attack. They're hoping for exactly this kind of rescue." The princess took a deep breath and made her decision. "Then we go to them, all of us together." Sarah activated the ship's intercom. "Attention crew, this is Captain Shun. We are changing course for the Vega system to begin Operation New Hope. All departments prepare for extended rescue operations." Thunder barked once in excitement, a sound that somehow managed to be both powerful and joyful. "New friends to help. This is going to be the best mission ever." As the Lucky Strike turned toward the Vega system, Princess Zarathel felt something she had thought lost forever: purpose. She was no longer just a rescued prisoner. She was a leader with a mission and allies who believed in doing what was right. But she also sensed that the Corvins would not give up easily. They had invested too much in their slave trade to let it be disrupted by one human ship and its remarkable crew. The real challenges lay ahead, and they would test everything these unlikely allies could do together. The Vega asteroid field stretched out before them like a graveyard of broken worlds. Massive rocks tumbled slowly through space, some as large as cities, others no bigger than houses. Hidden somewhere among them were 53 Lyralii survivors who had been running and hiding for weeks. Princess Zarathel stood on the bridge of the Lucky Strike next to Sarah and Thunder, watching the sensor displays as they searched for life signs. The dog's enhanced senses were proving invaluable in the hunt. "I smell fear," Thunder announced, his nose twitching as he processed data from the ship's atmospheric sensors. "And sadness, but also children. Definitely children." Sarah smiled and adjusted their search pattern based on Thunder's input. "His nose is better than most of our electronic equipment. Enhanced canine senses can detect emotional changes in the air that our machines miss completely." The princess was still amazed by the partnership between human and dog. In the 3 days since their rescue, she had watched them work together with a harmony that seemed almost telepathic. "There," Thunder said suddenly, his ears perking up as he pointed with his massive paw toward a cluster of asteroids. "That one. The big one that looks like a broken egg. They are inside it, and they are very scared." Sarah immediately ordered the ship toward the asteroid Thunder had identified. As they approached, their sensors confirmed what the dog had detected. There were indeed Lyralii life signs inside the hollowed-out rock. "This is Captain Sarah Chun of the Earth vessel Lucky Strike," Sarah broadcast on Lyralii frequencies. "We have your princess aboard, and request permission to dock." The response came quickly, filled with desperate hope. "Princess? Princess Zarathel? Is it really true?" "It is true," the princess said, taking control of the communications. "This is Zarathel, daughter of the Crystal Throne. I am alive and safe, and I've come to bring you home." The asteroid's small docking bay opened, and they could see it had been hastily modified to accommodate a small refugee ship. As the Lucky Strike attached to the docking collar, Princess Zarathel felt her heart racing with anticipation and worry. Thunder seemed to sense her nervousness. "It will be okay," he said gently. "Your people love you. I can smell it even from here." The airlock opened, and Princess Zarathel got her first look at her surviving people in weeks. They were thin and tired, their normally vibrant skin colors faded from stress and poor nutrition. But when they saw her, their faces lit up with joy and relief. "My princess!" cried Elder Silandra, the oldest among them. "We thought you had died with the others." Zarathel embraced the elder, feeling tears flow down both their faces. Around them, other survivors gathered, touching her hands and arms as if to confirm she was real. "I was captured," the princess explained, "but these brave beings rescued me." She gestured toward Sarah and Thunder, who had followed her through the airlock. The Lyralii survivors gasped when they saw Thunder. His massive form filled most of the small chamber, but he sat down immediately and tried to look as non-threatening as possible. "Hello," Thunder said in his gentle voice. "I am Thunder. I am here to help you and to play with any children who want to play." As if summoned by his words, several young Lyralii peeked out from behind the adults. Their eyes were wide with wonder at seeing such an enormous creature speak so kindly. One brave little girl with silver hair stepped forward. "Are you really friendly?" she asked. Thunder's tail wagged slowly, so as not to knock anything over in the small space. "I'm the friendliest. Would you like to pet my fur? It is very soft." The child reached out tentatively and touched Thunder's side. When nothing bad happened, she smiled and buried her small hands in his thick coat. "It is soft and warm." Soon other children were gathering around Thunder, their fear replaced by curiosity and delight. The big dog accepted their attention with infinite patience, even when they pulled on his ears or tried to climb on his back. Sarah was talking quietly with Elder Silandra and the other adults, explaining the plan to gather all the survivor groups and find them a new home. But Princess Zarathel found herself watching Thunder with the children. "It is remarkable," she murmured to herself. "Dogs have always been good with children," Sarah said, overhearing her comment. "But Thunder is special even among dogs. He seems to understand that little ones need extra gentleness." One of the Lyralii children, a boy of perhaps 8 years, was showing Thunder a small toy he had saved from their homeworld. It was a crystal bird that sang when touched, though its song was weak and fading. Thunder examined the toy carefully, then activated something in his armor. A soft blue light surrounded the crystal bird, and suddenly its song became strong and clear again, filling the chamber with beautiful music. "How did you do that?" the boy asked in wonder. "My armor has repair systems," Thunder explained. "Sarah taught me how to fix broken things. She says that is one of the most important jobs anyone can have." The music seemed to restore something in all the Lyralii survivors. Their skin colors began to brighten, and for the first time since their rescue, They began to sing together in harmony. It was a traditional Lyralii song of hope and homecoming, and Princess Zarathel felt her heart swell with pride for her people's resilience. Even after losing everything, they could still create beauty together. Thunder's tail wagged faster as he listened to the song. "That is the most beautiful sound I have ever heard," he said. "Can you teach it to me?" The children giggled at the idea of a dog trying to sing their songs, but they began patiently teaching him the melody. Thunder could not match their voices, but his deep, rumbling attempts to join in made everyone smile. Sarah was studying the data about the other survivor groups on her portable display. "Princess, we have a problem. The second group has gone silent. Our last contact with them was 2 days ago." Zarathel felt fear grip her heart. "Do you think the Corvins found them?" "Possibly. They were hiding in the ruins of a space station near the Centauri border. It is not as secure as this asteroid. Elder Sidandra Lukid vorid. The group at Centauri Station includes many of our best engineers and scientists. If they have been captured, they will be sold at the slave markets like we would have been," the princess finished grimly. Thunder stopped playing with the children and came over to where the adults were talking. His expression had grown serious, though his tail still wagged slowly to reassure the little ones watching him. "We have to go save them," he said simply. "That is what we do." Sarah nodded. "I agree, but we need to be smart about it. The Corvins will be expecting retaliation after what happened to their raider ship." Princess Zarathel thought for a moment, then made a decision that surprised even herself. "I want to come with you on the rescue mission." "Absolutely not," Sarah said immediately. "It is too dangerous. These people need their princess safe." "They need their princess to be a leader," Zarathel countered. "I cannot ask others to risk their lives for my people while I hide in safety." Thunder tilted his massive head thoughtfully. "She's right, Sarah. Leaders lead from the front. That is what makes them leaders." Elder Silandra placed a gentle hand on the princess's shoulder. "Your Highness, you have already done so much by bringing us hope. Do not risk yourself unnecessarily." "It is not unnecessary," the princess said firmly. "If I can help save more of our people, then it is the most necessary thing I can do." Sarah looked at Thunder, who gave what could only be described as a canine shrug. "If the princess wants to help, then we help her help," the dog said. "That is what partners do." The captain sighed but smiled at the same time. "Fine, but you follow our lead and stay out of direct combat." "Deal." "Deal," Princess Zarathel agreed. As they prepared to leave the asteroid hideout, the princess gathered her people together. "I'm going to rescue our friends at the station. Elder Silandra will lead you while I am gone." "Be careful, my princess," said the little girl who had first petted Thunder. "And bring Thunder back too. He promised to teach me more games." Thunder knelt down, so he was at eye level with the child. "I promise to come back and teach you all the games I know." Dogs always keep their promises. As they returned to the Lucky Strike, Princess Zarathel felt a mix of fear and determination. She was about to go into her first real battle, alongside beings who had already risked everything to save her. But as she looked at Sarah's confident face and Thunder's loyal eyes, she knew she was not facing this challenge alone. Together, they would find a way to save their people. The ship departed the asteroid field and set course for the Centauri border. Unknown to them, Corvin scouts had already detected their presence and were reporting back to their commanders. The trap was being set, and the real test of their unlikely alliance was about to begin. The destroyed space station hung in space like a broken flower, its twisted metal sections spinning slowly against the stars. What had once been a thriving research facility was now a tomb of shattered dreams and scattered debris. Princess Zarathel felt sick as she looked at the wreckage through the Lucky Strike's viewports. This had been Stellar Research Station Prometheus, where some of her people's greatest minds had worked on projects to help heal damaged worlds. "I count at least 30 Lyralii life signs," Sarah reported from her sensor station. "They're being held in the station's lower levels, but there are also Corvin energy signatures. A lot of them." Thunder stood beside the princess, his enhanced senses working to gather information the electronic systems might miss. His fur was standing up along his spine, and his ears were flat against his massive head. "I smell blood," he said quietly, "and pain. The bad aliens have hurt the good aliens." Zarathel placed a gentle hand on Thunder's armored back. "Then, we need to save them quickly." Sarah was studying tactical displays that showed the station's layout. "The problem is numbers. Our sensors show at least 60 Corvin warriors aboard the station, probably more. They're using it as a base of operations." "Can we call for help?" the princess asked. "The nearest Terran rescue service ship is 4 days away," Sarah replied. "By then, the prisoners will probably have been moved to the slave markets." Thunder's tail had stopped wagging entirely, which Zarathel had learned was a sign that he was thinking very seriously about something dangerous. "What if we do not fight all of them at once?" the dog suggested. "What if we make them come to us in small groups?" Sarah looked at her partner with interest. "What are you thinking?" Thunder padded over to the tactical display and used his nose to point at different sections of the station. "The station has many levels and compartments. If we make loud noises in the right places, we can make the bad aliens think we are attacking from different directions." The princess began to understand his strategy. Divide their forces. Make them spread out to defend multiple points while we rescue the prisoners. "Exactly," Thunder said, his tail giving a small wag of approval. "Plus, I can move through their ship systems in ways they do not expect. Ventilation shafts, maintenance tunnels, emergency access ways." Sarah nodded slowly. "It could work, but it would be incredibly dangerous, especially for you, Thunder. You would be alone behind enemy lines." "I'm never alone when I am helping people," Thunder replied with simple dignity. "Besides, I'm very good at being sneaky when I want to be." Princess Zarathel found this hard to believe, given Thunder's enormous size. But she had already learned not to underestimate the capabilities of these remarkable Earth beings. "What would you need me to do?" she asked. Sarah and Thunder exchanged one of their telepathic looks. "Actually, you might be the key to making this work," Sarah said. "The Corvins will recognize you. If they think they can recapture the Lyralii princess, they might make mistakes." The princess felt a chill of fear, but tried to hide it. "You want me to be bait?" "Only if you are willing," Thunder said gently. "We would never ask you to do something that scared you too much." Zarathel thought about her people trapped in the station's lower levels, probably wounded and certainly terrified. Then she thought about the children back at the asteroid hideout, trusting her to bring their friends home safely. "Tell me the plan," she said. 2 hours later, Princess Zarathel was floating in a small escape pod among the debris around the station. She had changed into her royal robes, making sure she would be easily recognizable to any Corvin sensors that detected her. Her heart was beating fast with fear, but she was also proud of herself for being brave enough to do this. Thunder's simple wisdom about courage had given her strength. "Princess, are you ready?" Sarah's voice came through her communication device. "Ready," Zarathel replied, though her voice shook slightly. "Remember, as soon as they bring you aboard, I start the distractions." Thunder is already in position. The princess took a deep breath and activated her pod's distress beacon. Within minutes, Corvin ships were moving toward her position. The largest ship extended a docking arm and pulled her pod into its cargo bay. As the bay doors closed, Princess Zarathel saw Corvin warriors surrounding her pod with weapons drawn. The pod's hatch opened, and Captain Morgak himself stepped forward. His red eyes gleamed with cruel satisfaction as he recognized his former prisoner. "The little princess returns," he said in his grinding voice. "How convenient. My masters will be very pleased to have you back." "Let my people go," Zarathel said, trying to keep her voice steady. "They have done nothing to harm you." Morgak laughed. "Your people are valuable merchandise. Lyralii scientists will bring excellent prices from buyers who want intelligent slaves." At that moment, explosions began echoing through the station. Emergency alarms started blaring, and red warning lights flashed everywhere. "What is happening?" Morgak roared at his communications officer. "We are under attack, Captain. Multiple breaches on levels 7, 12, and 15. More explosions shook the station, each one seeming to come from a different direction. The Corvin warriors looked confused and frightened. How many attackers? Morgak demanded. Unknown, sir. The attacks are coordinated, but we cannot get clear readings on enemy numbers. What the Corvins did not know was that Sarah was using the Lucky Strike's advanced systems to project false energy signatures throughout the station, while Thunder created the actual explosions using small charges he placed as he moved through the maintenance systems. Sir, we are getting reports of a massive creature loose in the lower levels, another officer reported. Security teams are requesting immediate backup. Morgak's face twisted with rage and confusion. Impossible. How'd they get aboard? Princess Zarathel tried not to smile. Thunder had told her that dogs were naturally good at sneaking around when they wanted to surprise someone. Apparently, this applied even to genetically enhanced cyber dogs the size of small vehicles. All units converge on the lower levels. Morgak ordered, protect the prisoners. If we lose them, we lose everything. As most of the warriors rushed away to deal with the apparent invasion, Zarathel found herself guarded by only 3 Corvins. The princess began to think she might actually escape from this dangerous gambit alive. But then something went wrong. Captain, the communications officer called out in a panicked voice, we are detecting a massive energy surge from the reactor levels. Something is interfering with our power systems. Morgak's red eyes narrowed with suspicion. This is too coordinated. Someone is playing tricks with us. He grabbed Princess Zarathel roughly and pressed a weapon to her head. Attention, unknown attackers. He broadcast on all frequencies. I have your princess. Surrender now, or I will kill her slowly. In the lower levels, Thunder was carefully freeing Lyralii prisoners when he heard Morgak's threat over the station's communication system. His enhanced hearing could detect the fear in the princess's breathing even through the electronic transmission. Sarah, he said into his communicator, they have the princess. I have to go help her now. Negative, Thunder. Stick to the plan. We can still... No. Thunder interrupted, something he had never done before. She is my friend, and friends do not leave friends in danger. Without waiting for Sarah's response, Thunder began moving through the station with deadly purpose. He was no longer being sneaky. Now he was being direct. The first group of Corvin warriors he encountered on level 5 did not even have time to raise their weapons before he was among them. His enhanced speed and strength, combined with his armor's defensive systems, made him nearly unstoppable. But Thunder was careful not to kill anyone. Sarah had taught him that taking life was sometimes necessary, but never something to do lightly. Instead, he knocked the warriors unconscious and continued moving upward through the station. As he climbed toward the command levels, more and more Corvin forces converged on his position. They were finally getting a clear look at their attacker, and the sight terrified them. Thunder was no longer the gentle, playful creature who had delighted the Lyralii children. He was 2,000 pounds of enhanced muscle and protective armor, moving with the focused determination of a predator protecting his pack. All units fall back, one Corvin officer screamed into his communicator. It is a demon, a space demon with too many teeth. Thunder's enhanced hearing picked up this transmission, and, despite the seriousness of the situation, his tail wagged slightly. He wondered if Sarah would laugh when he told her that story later. By the time he reached the command deck, most of the Corvin warriors had either fled or been knocked unconscious. Only Captain Morgak remained, still holding Princess Zarathel hostage. Stay back, demon. Morgak snarled, pressing his weapon harder against the princess's head. I will kill her. Thunder stopped in the doorway, his massive form filling the frame. His brown eyes fixed on Morgak with an intensity that made the Corvin captain take a step backward. Let her go, Thunder said in a voice that was still gentle, but carried an undertone of barely controlled power. She is under my protection. Your protection? Morgak laughed, but the sound was shaky with fear. You are just an animal, a trained beast. Thunder tilted his massive head slightly. I'm a dog. Dogs protect their friends. This is what we do. Princess Zarathel felt a surge of hope and affection for this wonderful creature who had crossed the galaxy to save strangers and was now risking his life for her specifically. "Thunder," she said softly, "be careful. He is desperate." The dog's tail wagged once. "I'm always careful, Princess. Sarah taught me to be smart as well as strong." What happened next was almost too fast for organic eyes to follow. Thunder's armor systems deployed a localized electromagnetic pulse that disabled Morgak's weapon while simultaneously projecting a blinding light flash. In the split second of confusion that followed, Thunder crossed the command deck in a single bound and, gently but firmly, separated Morgak from the princess. When the light faded, Captain Morgak found himself hanging upside down from Thunder's massive jaws, held by his armor and completely unharmed but utterly defeated. "Good dog," Princess Zarathel said with a shaky smile. Thunder's tail wagged happily as he set the unconscious Corvin captain down carefully. "Thank you, Princess. Are you hurt?" "I am fine, thanks to you." Sarah's voice came through their communicators. "Thunder, Princess, what is your status?" "The princess is safe," Thunder reported, "and all the prisoners are free. The bad aliens are taking a nap." As they made their way back to the Lucky Strike with the rescued Lyralii scientists, Princess Zarathel found herself walking beside Thunder through the station corridors. "Thank you for saving me," she said quietly. Thunder's ears perked up. "You save yourself, Princess. I just help a little. That is what friends do." The princess realized that somewhere in their shared adventures, she had indeed found friends unlike any she had ever imagined. But their mission was far from over, and greater challenges awaited them among the stars. 3 months had passed since the rescue at Stellar Research Station Prometheus, and the hidden base on Kepler's moon had grown beyond anyone's expectations. What started as a temporary refuge for Lyralii survivors had become something much more significant. Princess Zarathel stood on the observation deck, watching construction robots work alongside beings from a dozen different species. The base now housed over 300 rescued slaves from various worlds, all working together to build something unprecedented in galactic history. "The new ships are almost ready," Sarah said as she joined the princess at the viewing window. 5 escort vessels and 1 flagship, all built with combined Earth and Lyralii technology. Thunder bounded up beside them, his tail wagging with excitement. In the months since their adventures began, he had become something of a legend among the rescued beings. Children from different species would gather around him every evening to hear stories and learn games from Earth. "The best part is the playground," Thunder announced proudly. "I helped design it so children from different worlds can play together safely. It has climbing structures for the cat people, swimming areas for the fish people, and soft sand pits for everyone who likes to dig." Princess Zarathel smiled as she watched a group of youngsters playing in Thunder's playground. Lyralii children with their flowing silver hair played alongside young Centaurians, Felinians, and even a few small rock creatures. They had invented new games that combined elements from all their different cultures. "You have done something remarkable here," she told Sarah and Thunder. "This is more than just a rescue operation. You have created a new kind of community." Sarah nodded, looking pleased but also concerned. "The question is whether we can protect it. Our intelligence reports suggest the Corvins are planning a major offensive to recapture their property." The princess felt her skin color shift to worried purple. Despite all their successes, the threat of Corvin retaliation had never disappeared. If anything, it had grown worse as more slave ships fell victim to their rescue operations. "How many ships do they have?" she asked. "Our scouts report at least 50 warships gathering at the Corvin stronghold of Nexus Prime," Sarah replied, led by War Commander Thakmor himself. Thunder's ears flattened against his head. "Thakmor is the one who ordered the attack on your homeworld, Princess. He is very bad, even for a bad alien." Princess Zarathel had heard the name in reports from other survivors. Thakmor was infamous throughout the galaxy for his cruelty and his complete lack of mercy for any species he considered inferior. "When will they arrive?" she asked. 3 days, possibly less," Sarah said. We have options. We could evacuate everyone to deeper space and continue operating from hidden bases. Or, the princess prompted, sensing there was another alternative. Sarah and Thunder exchanged one of their meaningful looks. Or we make a stand here. Show the galaxy that slavery can be stopped permanently. Thunder's tail began wagging slowly. I vote for staying and fighting. Running away does not help all the other people who are still prisoners. Princess Zarathel understood what they were suggesting. This would not just be a battle for their survival. It would be a statement that free beings could stand together against oppression. What we need to do. We have allies, Sarah explained, activating a holographic display that showed ship positions throughout the sector. The Zentorian Defense Force wants revenge for their destroyed colonies. The Felinian Pride clans are sending their best warriors. Even the usually neutral Crystalline Collective has offered support. The display showed dozens of ships from different species, all converging on their location. Princess Zarathel was amazed at how many beings were willing to fight alongside them. "Why are they helping us?" she asked. Thunder tilted his massive head thoughtfully. "Because we help them first. That is how friendship works. You help someone, then they help you, then together you help other people." It was such a simple explanation, but it captured something profound about what they had built together. They had proven that different species could work as partners instead of enemies. "There is something else," Sarah said. "We have received an interesting message from Earth. The Terran Federation Council has been watching our activities with great interest." She activated another display, showing a recorded message from a human admiral. "Captain Shun, your unauthorized rescue operations have caused quite a stir back home. Some council members want to court-martial you for violating our non-interference policies." Princess Zarathel felt alarm, but the admiral continued speaking. "However, other council members believe you have discovered something important about humanity's role in galactic civilization. Therefore, I am authorized to offer you official support. The Earth Fleet vessel Harmony and 2 escort ships are en route to your position." Thunder's tail wagged faster. More friends coming to help. This is getting exciting. But the princess could see worry in Sarah's eyes. "What is wrong? Is this not good news?" "It is complicated," Sarah admitted. "If Earth officially supports our operations, it means the conflict will escalate beyond just fighting the Corvins. Other major powers will have to choose sides. A galactic civil war," the princess said, understanding the implications. "Possibly, but maybe that is what needs to happen. Maybe it is time for the galaxy to decide once and for all whether slavery is acceptable." Thunder stood up and padded over to where several alien children were watching their conversation from the corridor. "What do you think?" he asked them seriously. "Should we fight the bad aliens, even if it makes a big war?" The children looked at each other. Then, one brave young Felinian stepped forward. "The bad aliens took my parents," she said in her small voice. "If we do not stop them, they will take more parents." A Zentorian boy nodded agreement. "My whole family was killed except me. I do not want that to happen to other families." Even one of the rock creature children, who rarely spoke, made the grinding sounds that meant agreement in their language. Thunder's tail wagged as he looked back at the adults. "The children have decided. We fight to protect everyone." Over the next 3 days, the hidden base transformed into a fortress. Ships arrived daily, bringing allies from across the galaxy. The Zentorian Defense Force brought their advanced shield technology. The Felinians contributed their superior fighters and stealth systems. The Crystalline Collective offered their nearly indestructible hull materials. Most surprisingly, several groups of freed slaves who had settled on distant worlds returned to join the fight. They brought their own ships and weapons, determined to prevent others from suffering as they had. Princess Zarathel found herself serving as a coordinator between the different species, helping them work together despite their vastly different cultures and fighting styles. Her diplomatic training was finally being put to use in ways she had never expected. Thunder had appointed himself as the base's morale officer, visiting every ship and installation to make sure everyone felt included and appreciated. His genuine enthusiasm and unshakable optimism helped beings from different worlds find common ground. On the morning of the third day, their sensors detected the Corvin fleet dropping out of hyperspace at the edge of the system. 53 ships, the Zentorian tactical officer reported. Multiple classes including heavy battle cruisers and troop transports. Princess Zarathel stood on the bridge of their new flagship, the Hope's Light, watching as the enemy fleet formed up for attack. Beside her, Sarah and Thunder prepared for what might be their final battle. "Any regrets?" Sarah asked. "Only one," the princess replied. "I wish we had met sooner. Think of how many people we could have saved." Thunder's tail wagged. "We will save them after we win this fight. All of them." The Corvin fleet began its advance, but as it did, something unexpected happened. Ships began appearing throughout the system as more allies arrived from hyperspace. "Admiral, we have new contacts," the communications officer reported excitedly. "It is the Earth Fleet vessel Harmony with escort ships. And, Admiral, there are more ships coming. Lots more ships." On the main display, vessels from dozens of species materialized throughout the system. Free traders, exploration ships, even tourist vessels had come to join the fight. Word had spread across the galaxy about the battle that would determine the future of slavery. War Commander Thakmore's voice came over the communication channels, filled with rage and disbelief. "What is this? What are all these ships doing here?" Princess Zarathel stepped forward to respond, her voice carrying clearly across space to every ship in both fleets. "These are free beings, Thakmore. They have come to end your empire of suffering once and for all." Thunder barked once, a sound of pure defiance that somehow carried through the communication systems. And they brought a very good dog to help. The battle that followed became legend throughout the galaxy. It was not just a victory over the Corvin slave empire, though that was certainly achieved. It was proof that beings from different worlds could unite for justice and freedom. Thunder's role in the battle was remembered particularly fondly. He somehow managed to board 3 different enemy ships during the fighting, not to destroy them, but to rescue prisoners who were being held in their cargo holds. When the last Corvin ship surrendered, Princess Zarathel found herself looking out at a galaxy that had fundamentally changed. The age of slavery was ending, and a new era of cooperation between species was beginning. "What happens now?" she asked Sarah as they watched former enemies being taken into custody. "Now we build something better," Sarah replied. "A galactic federation based on cooperation instead of conquest." Thunder wagged his tail thoughtfully. "Can I suggest something? We should have a rule that all Federation ships have to carry treats for good dogs. For diplomatic reasons." Princess Zarathel laughed, a sound that carried hope across the stars. "I think that can be arranged." As the Hope's Light set course for Earth to begin formal negotiations for the new Galactic Federation, Princess Zarathel reflected on how much her life had changed since that dark day when the Corvins attacked her homeworld. She had been a princess without a kingdom, lost and alone in a hostile galaxy. But she had found something better than a kingdom. She had found a family that included beings from dozens of worlds, united by the simple belief that everyone deserved to be free. And at the center of that family was a very good dog who had taught them all that the most important job anyone could have was helping people in trouble. Thunder's tail wagged as he sensed her thoughts, and Princess Zarathel knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. After all, that is what friends do.